Hi, I'm Laura Duggan, broker and owner of West Austin Properties here in Austin, Texas. And after 30 plus years in the real estate business in Austin, I'd like to share 10 things that I think every home seller should know before putting their home on the market. So let's get started. The photos of your home are your first showing. You know, even seniors begin their home search online, and the number one thing that people want to see is the photography of a home. If they don't like what they see in the photographs, they're not going to come visit the home in person. So it's really important to have absolutely outstanding photography. Now, we use a professional photographer for all of our listings, one that actually specializes in architectural photography, because that is really important. They know the right lighting, they know the right angles to highlight the special features of your home. We even have a checklist called Preparing Your Home for the Photo Shoot that helps you get your home ready for that experience. You know, less is really more when selling your home. You're going to want to remove everything that you don't need. Just box it up or throw it out. Take down personal photos, decorative knickknacks, religious icons, stuffed animal heads, anything that might draw the buyer's attention away from your house. You can see this room is full of all of that, and it really is distracting. We all love our stuff, but it's distracting to a buyer. And we also want your house to look and feel very spacious. So if the cabinets and closets are overflowing, it lets the buyer know that the house might be short on storage. So think about the way a room presents itself in a magazine: clean and well designed, not cluttered. Look at this room, is completely cluttered with stuff all over the desk, all over the walls. It doesn't leave the buyer any room to imagine their own things in that room. With our clients, we also provide a list of local charities that will come and pick up items that you want to donate and even give you a receipt so that all of your unwanted items can go. Look at the difference it makes when you have a beautifully designed room, free of clutter, minimal things on the walls. It's just clean and beautiful, and the photographer can actually capture all that beauty and draw the buyer into the photograph. You know, selling a home is a complex business transaction, and this is the third thing that I'd like to share. Finding the buyer is really only a very small part of selling a home. There's a lot to be done between finding the buyer and handing them the keys to your house. The buyer has to be qualified. And not only do we qualify the buyer to make sure that he or she can purchase your home, but we talk to the lender to verify the buyer's information and find out how they handle the appraisal process. Because the appraisal rules have all changed, and now different lenders handle the appraisal process differently. We want to make certain that the appraiser that your buyer hires is local and knows your neighborhood, rather than someone on a federally approved list that might come from even a different city entirely. And we've actually had that happen. So we've learned that we need to qualify the buyer, but also qualify the buyer's lender. Then there's the title work that has to be ordered to make certain that you have clear title. Believe it or not, liens can pop up unexpectedly that you were never aware of. So we don't want any unexpected liens to delay your closing once we find that buyer. Then there's the home inspection, the survey, the termite inspection, energy audit if you're in the city, septic inspection if you're out, engineering if necessary, and of course any repairs that need to be made. We coordinate all of that for you, and we have excellent resources. All of these jobs have to be scheduled and negotiated with the buyer, and our job is to guide you every step of the way and to prepare you for each step well in advance so that you don't have any surprises. The last thing you want in a home selling experience is a surprise. So when it's time to close, we walk you through the closing statement and answer questions about your proceeds, coordinating your moving and utilities, and then of course ask you to refer us to your friends. Selling a home is stressful and it is inconvenient, and we recognize that. We want to make the experience as painless as possible. And our experience really allows us to do that because we've been selling homes in the Austin area in 5 different decades, so we have lots of experience. One of the ways that we do that is to reduce the amount of time that you have your home on the market, because the longer it's on the market, the more stressful it becomes. We get it staged and ready so that it shows well. We get our marketing in place so that you get the widest exposure quickly, and we get it priced properly so that you get the maximum amount of equity out of it, but in the shortest amount of time. Experience tells us that the longer your house is on the market, the less you're actually going to get for it. You know, with all the electronic marketing that we have at our fingertips now, the process moves quickly and smoothly and gets you to the next phase of your life. Another thing that I'd like to tell you, the home seller, before putting your home on the market, is that some agents won't tell you the truth, and the reason for that is because they don't want to hurt your feelings. Now, most of the time when a house doesn't sell, it's because the agent was afraid to tell the seller the truth. And you can see this little breakfast room is just full of stuff. Now, I might be afraid to tell the seller, if they were a good friend of mine, that they needed to clean all these things out of this little breakfast area and brighten it up and make it more appealing. Sometimes there are things that are very obvious that a seller needs to do to get his home sold, and sometimes we discover these things through feedback when buyers and their agents come through the home. This particular home had a tree in the driveway when I was showing it one day to a buyer, and I called the listing agent and I said, "What is with the tree?" And he said, "Laura, these people are great friends of mine, and I just don't want to tell them they need to cut that tree down." Well, you can't get 2 cars in that garage without cutting the tree down. And you know what? At the end of the day, it cost that seller money because that agent wasn't willing to be upfront with that seller and tell him he needed to cut the tree down. And the seller took a hit for that. When I went back by several weeks after the new buyer, not my buyer, but a different buyer, closed the property, the tree was gone. So wouldn't it have made a lot more sense to deal with it right up front? I always get permission right up front to tell the seller the truth. And you know, it's not always the easiest thing to do, but many times the truth that you have to tell the seller is the very thing that the seller needs to hear to get their home sold. And I know it's hard to believe, but your friends and relatives are the worst offenders. Your agent needs to be able to tell you the truth. Pets can cost you a bundle. Love me, love my dog. That's what my mom used to say. And of course, I get all that. I love dogs. I have dogs. We all love our animals, but that's just it. We love our animals. And pets can present a real problem when selling a home. So you're going to want to remove pets for showings, or at least crate them in a place that they won't distract from the showing. Sometimes animals scare little children, and we just don't want to have a negative experience during a showing. So remove also evidence of pets, which bedding, litter boxes, toys, all of those items actually have an odor to them, and if you're not an animal lover, you may sense that odor as a buyer and be put off by that property. Also, repair any damage that the pet has done before putting the home on the market. Some buyers just will not buy a house that has had a pet living in it. And this is especially true if the buyer has a baby or small children that will be crawling on the floor. So clean or replace soil, carpets, or flooring. And by the way, we have wholesale vendors for flooring and many other items, and we can help you coordinate all these things. And many times these vendors will even wait till closing to be paid. And we can recommend people who can come in and clean and remove any pet odors as well. You can maximize your home's value by making minor repairs, and this is so important. paint the front door and replace the hardware, improve drive-up appeal by adding some landscaping, make a room look larger and brighter by painting it a neutral color. It doesn't even have to be a light color now. There's some really beautiful new gray and brown tones that look really fantastic in homes. Take down dark, heavy window coverings. All of these things and more can add value to your home. In fact, it is amazing how much value you can add to your home by repainting and reflooring. And again, we have wholesale sources for all of this. We will walk through the home with you and suggest minor repairs and any low-cost enhancements that can add value to your home. And that will just suggest to the buyer that your home has been well maintained. We have a home maintenance checklist that we can also share, as well as those wholesale sources for many of the supplies. Buyers buy lifestyle. The purpose of our marketing is to show the buyer what it's like to live in your home. So we make that easy by sharing not only the features of your home, but the benefits that those features will have for a buyer. For example, if you have a 3-car garage, the benefit to the buyer is that there's room for a golf cart or their teenager's car. If you have a swimming pool, the benefit is that the kids will want to have their friends to your backyard rather than going to their friend's backyard. Your house will be the one that everyone wants to come to. And so well-written ad copy paints that picture for the buyer. The internet makes it really easy to tell the story of your home, and we create a special website for each listing that tells that story. We call these home sites, and in the home site, we place professional photography. You saw at the very beginning where we had that beautiful room and the slideshow at the bottom of all the photography. We put in an intro video hosted on YouTube, links to the school's websites, the Homeowners Association documents. We even put in contracts and disclosures so that if someone comes along and wants to purchase your home, there's even a contract in that website that they can sign and submit. We make it as easy as possible for a buyer to purchase your home. We try to anticipate the questions that a buyer would have, and then we answer them by putting the information that they would be seeking in that home site. And then the home site is syndicated to all of the major real estate websites and search engines. So we actually give the buyer all of the information that they need to make a buying decision in one place so that it's easy for them to take the next step. I laugh about this one. All agents are not created equally. You're going to want to choose an agent that puts your interests first. In Austin, we have between 9,000 and 10,000 real estate agents. And some agents are more interested in posting big numbers in their companies than they are serving sellers. And they run big teams. They relegate you to a myriad of staff people for every facet of the transaction, and we don't think that that is efficient or effective. We're the ones with the most experience, so you should be able to talk to us whenever you have a concern or want to communicate anything, because communication is absolutely key. We are so easily accessible by phone, text, or email anytime to help you with questions or concerns. And you know what? Those happen very often after 5 o'clock. So we're on the clock almost 24/7. You're going to want to choose an agent that has the experience and the skill to get you through the bumps in the road, because like we said, the sale of a home is a really complex business transaction, and there are a multitude of situations that arise that need specialized expertise. And after these many, many years in the business, I've seen almost every single circumstance that you could possibly see and know how to take care of those things that do come up. We're also specialists in marketing, financing, negotiating, and the statistics of our real estate market. We monitor sales monthly by zip code. These are some of the zip codes we monitor, but we have a full real estate market report that we post on our website at westaustin.com every single month. We've been doing this since 2006, so we have a lot of history in the market, looking at what's happening. You know, the real estate market is constantly changing, and it's affected by interest rates. It's affected by whether or not the government's going to buy back bonds. It's affected by federal decisions. It's affected by the stock market, the job market. It's constantly changing, and only if you monitor the numbers every single month can you really know what's happening for sellers, so that you don't leave money on the closing table, so that you know how to negotiate with buyers. You've got all the data at your fingertips to know how to deal with each situation. We also look at sales by price band, because we've learned that people who are looking for homes in, say, the $500,000 to $600,000 price range are going to look at multiple neighborhoods. So if we only consider your home and your specific neighborhood, we may be leaving out very important information that will help you actually get more for your home. And we've seen lots of instances of that, certainly in the last year. This information also allows us to predict trends. We see how those changes in the loan process, the appraisal process, government decisions about buying back bonds, interest rates. We see how all of that affects the rates and the sales. And then we keep the seasonality of the market. You can see on this chart which months are the best months for selling your home. We also look at mortgage rates, because mortgage rates have a direct effect on buying power. The higher the rate, the more it costs for the buyer to buy. And when interest rates rise, it has the same effect as a seller raising his price, and fewer homes sell because mortgage payments are higher. Conversely, when rates decrease, more buyers qualify to purchase, and homes usually increase in value. So it's important to track this every single month. So our job is to use these skills to anticipate problems and lay the groundwork around them so that you have a smooth transaction. We want to make it look easy. My partner, Gail Boston, and I are both native Austinites. We've been here for many, many years working in the real estate business, and we can ensure that your transaction is a smooth one. We invite you to call us or to email us. We're happy to come out and give you a personal assessment of your home, and we look forward to talking to you. Thanks so much.